There's a quiet kind of heartbreak that doesn't leave bruises. No yelling, no chaos, just absence. A dinner table where your words floated unanswered. A birthday where no one really looked up. A childhood where you were seen, but not seen. And it lingers in how you shrink your voice now, in how you say, "I'm fine," before anyone asks, in how you sometimes feel like a background character in your own life. Did you ever wonder why it still hurts? Why silence makes your chest tighten? Why a room full of people can still feel cold? This is for the ones who grew up invisible, not because they did something wrong, but because the people around them never learned how to notice gently. You didn't get screamed at, you got forgotten. You weren't hit, you were passed over. And yet, that kind of neglect leaves its mark, etches a question into your nervous system. Am I allowed to take up space? Emotional neglect is a ghost. It hides in subtle moments. It looks like praise that never came, like achievements met with silence, like sadness dismissed as "you're just being sensitive." You learn to make yourself small, to avoid being a burden, to solve your own problems, to be your own parent, too early, too young. And the worst part? You got good at it. So good that now, even when someone finally asks how you feel, you don't know how to answer. This survival skill became your personality. Quiet, capable, independent, but it wasn't always strength. Sometimes, it was just loneliness in disguise. You stopped asking for help because it always ended in disappointment. You stopped showing sadness because no one ever asked why you were crying. You stopped needing attention because it hurt less than needing and not receiving. This is emotional neglect. It doesn't come with drama. It comes with absence. And it can be just as loud as pain that screams. Psychologists call it invisible trauma because it's the kind that hides in plain sight. In homes that looked normal, in families that had food on the table, in lives where everything seemed fine, but something vital was missing. Attunement. That warm sense that someone is paying attention, emotionally, consistently, tenderly. When a child doesn't receive that, the brain adapts. The nervous system learns to stay in a state of low alert, always scanning, always guessing. Am I wanted here? Should I disappear a little more? And it's not your fault. You adapted exactly how you needed to. That wasn't weakness. That was survival. Maybe the ones meant to notice you were too lost in their own storms, too distracted, too emotionally unavailable, too caught in pain they never healed. But that doesn't make your pain any less real. And now here you are, grown, yet still quietly wondering, if I don't perform, will I still be loved? The child who was unnoticed often becomes the adult who overcompensates by doing more, giving more, proving they're worth seeing. If this is you, you might feel guilty for resting. You might apologize when you haven't done anything wrong. You might feel safer giving love than receiving it, because receiving feels like a risk, like something that could vanish. You might have learned to read the emotional temperature in every room, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. This is hypervigilance, the quiet alertness that forms when your body doesn't fully trust others will show up. Even when no one is yelling, your nervous system listens for shifts, for silence, for withdrawal. And when someone finally does notice you, it can feel foreign, unreal, like maybe they're just being polite, like maybe they'll change their mind once they see the real you. But the real you is not too much, not needy, not a burden. You learned to shrink because your needs weren't mirrored back. You learned to smile when you were sad, to nod when you wanted to scream. That was emotional labor no child should carry. And yet, you carried it with grace, until it became invisible weight. You might notice it now, in relationships where you play the caretaker, in friendships where you never share your own pain, in moments when someone asks, "How are you?" and you freeze because you're not sure if they really want to know. That wasn't selfishness. That was self-preservation. Picture this. You're sitting across from someone who genuinely cares. They ask a simple question, "How are you, really?" And your throat tightens, not because you don't want to tell the truth, but because the truth feels foreign on your tongue. You were trained, quietly and consistently, to keep your inner world tucked away. Adults who grew up unnoticed often carry 3 silent patterns into their lives. You minimize your feelings. You tell yourself it's not a big deal, even when your heart is breaking, because no one ever reflected your emotions back to you. So now, even you struggle to believe they matter. You disconnect when things get too intimate. Not dramatically, just a gentle pulling away, a delayed text, a quiet withdrawal. Not because you don't care, but because closeness feels unfamiliar. Like a room with the lights too bright. You become the dependable one, the strong one, the "I'm good, don't worry about me" one. Because that role was the only way you learned to belong. Not by being seen, but by being useful. And yet, beneath that strength, there's a softer truth. You want to be chosen. Not for what you do, not for what you offer, but simply for existing. For breathing. For being you. Has that ever felt true for you? If so, there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't fail to speak loudly enough. Your childhood simply didn't give you a mirror. So you grew into someone who questions their own reflection. But your needs were always real. Your emotions were always valid. Your longing to be seen was always human. And even now, even as an adult, a part of you is still waiting at that childhood door, hoping someone finally says your name with softness. There are small things you can do now, tiny moments of repair, not to fix the past, but to offer yourself something it never gave, presence. Start with this. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what did I feel today? Not what you achieved, not what you avoided, just what you felt. Write it down, even if the words come slowly, even if you hesitate, thinking they're not important. They are, because your emotions are evidence of your existence. Next, try this. Let someone show up for you, even a little. Let a friend hold space. Let a compliment land without batting it away. Let a moment of care linger. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is sometimes the first sign of growth. And gently remind yourself, you're not too quiet. You were just raised in too much silence. You're not too sensitive. You were just taught to numb. You're not attention-seeking. You're attention-deserving. This is nervous system work. Reteaching your body that you're allowed to feel, allowed to need, allowed to be noticed. And if that still feels hard, remember this. Children don't need loud love. They need consistent love. So give that to yourself now. Consistency over volume. Kindness over performance. Presence over perfection. It's not about fixing who you became. It's about finding the parts you buried and whispering, "I see you." There's a photo of you somewhere. Maybe in a drawer. Maybe only in memory. You're small, wide-eyed, holding your breath without knowing it. You didn't know the silence around you was shaping you, that the absence of being seen could leave such a loud ache. But you carried it. Into classrooms where you sat in the back. Into friendships where you gave more than you got. Into love where you feared being a burden. So you stayed quiet even when you needed someone. And still, you survived. You built a world out of whispers, a heart that listens deeply, a mind that notices what others miss. That wasn't weakness. That was resilience. So here you are now, not broken, just ready to feel real again. Tonight, before sleep, place a hand on your chest. Feel your own heartbeat. That's proof you're here, proof you matter. One word you needed to hear as a child, write it below. Let it land this time, softly, like the voice that should have told you. You were never too quiet to be loved. This is your new beginning. Not louder, not different, just truer. You're no longer invisible. You're home.